In this video, I'm going to show you what it's like to be a personal trainer for Hermés.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenido a HermésFit.
Here I am getting my makeup done. Carly is doing it, she was really cool. There was quite a number of makeup artists backstage and people to do hair, so we had to get there about an hour early to make sure that we were all groomed and ready to go and dressed and all that kind of stuff. And this is me showing my haircut when I was 6 years old, where I literally shaved all of my head but kept an orange fringe. The Ranger bangs. So this is what I'm wearing. We got we'll get up close here, the shorts, leggings, orange leggings, the sleeveless, oh no, it's not sleeveless, the sweater, and there's a singlet somewhere on here too, so before, and this is after. We got the singlet underneath, that's what I'll be doing the class in. Once I was dressed, I went downstairs and I actually got a chance to catch up with Base Body Babes. I hadn't met them before, so it was nice to catch up with them and get to know them. And then after that, I walked around backstage, got mic'd up, and then once I was all mic'd up and the levels were good, then we went into the room. This is where we're about to do the shoe hit class. This is the studio that I was using. There was two studios and I would go back and forward between them, but I would just literally have to go in and do a sound check with Sam over there, the soundy, and test the iPad for the music just to make sure that all the levels were good. I had to do, so this was Sunday. It was a 4-day event, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I did Thursday and I literally lost my voice from like shouting so much because I couldn't hear myself, so it was actually really good to do that. This is me selecting the shoes for the shoe hit class. So ultimately, this shoe hit class, the whole idea behind it was to show the Hermés product, and I had a hit class and I had to use the shoes and integrate them into the class. So this is the class. You know, once again, this is Sunday. I did an hour class on Thursday and another 30-minute class, and then on Friday and Saturday I did a 30-minute class on those days too. And they were all pretty much booked out. And as you'll see, some people will creep through as we stretch and warm up for the shoe hit class. So I'm going to be talking over what I'm going through, what we're doing, just so, you know, if you wanted to do this workout, you could, but also explaining, I guess, what I was teaching people. It wasn't just some random workout, it was actually a great workout and people got great use out of it. So first of all, I warmed up down the bottom with pumping the calves, and now I'm doing something called a shin box, and that's where we keep our feet still and try put our knee to the bottom of our foot and we alternate side to side. So I like to warm up from the bottom of the body, so calves, and work all the way up to the top of the body. So after we did the shin box, we laid down and we did the scorpion. Now the reason I'm talking over this, you know, you're probably like, oh man, I just want to hear what you're saying in the class. I'm doing it to music. And I don't know too much about YouTube, but I do know that when you have other people's music on, you can get copyright content, and then they can, I don't know, maybe even take your video down or just decrease the amount of reach that it has. So that's why I'm talking over it. So this is the scorpion. So you're lying down like a T and you're trying to get your leg to the opposite hand. So there's me trying to get my left leg to my right hand, and I'm alternating between there. You can see people are kind of, you know, getting up in each other's grill, which is nice, so that they can just kind of loosen up and everyone's getting close. And you know, it was actually really fun running these classes. Like, people were getting amongst it. We had different levels of people in there as well. Because this was an event in Sydney and it was open to the public, we had people that had been training for years. We had people that hadn't even trained before, that were just, you know, Hermés fans. We had people that just like the shoes. The two people in front of me, the guy in the black shirt and the lady in the grey leggings with the slightly blonde hair, they work in marketing, so they're just having a look. This was a free event, so it was open to anyone, but the classes were fully booked, so they had to book them in ahead of time. Here we have 2 other people coming in, and then there's 1 gap left, which I'm sure is going to be filled very soon, with actually a client that I used to work with one-to-one, she actually came in, which was quite interesting. So now we are doing well, you can call it the reverse scorpion. So we're on our back and we're trying to do the same thing. So we're trying to get our left leg to our right hand or our right leg to our left hand. So we're just making sure we're kind of crossing over. As you can see, people are slowly coming in, they're warming up. And I spent around 5 to 10 minutes warming up just because I didn't want people to get injured. There we go, she's coming there in the white. She was my old personal training client, so that's why we were laughing. She remembered me. So that was when I was working in the CBD of Sydney at Fitness First. She was my client, and now she's actually doing my class, so that was pretty funny. So now we're swapping between this stretch here, which is kind of opening up the lower back, and then we're alternating. Because when we're doing warm-ups, we want to keep them dynamic at the start. I recently just got it's crazy, about 2.5 million views on a reel that I posted on Instagram, and it was around static versus dynamic warm-ups, and I'm team dynamic. So that's why all the stretches that I'm doing here are warming up. So now we've creeped up to the upper body and we're doing circles forward, circles back, and then I was doing them one at a time. So that was also, one forward, one back. That was warming up the brain and also the body. Now we're just jogging, jumping up and down. Now we're jumping side to side. And this is the final warm up. And then we get into the workout. So everyone's pretty warm. I was probably just starting to sweat now. And yeah, my shirt got pretty sweaty. I was telling the styling group, I was like, man, I hope you guys have a backup for this, because literally every time I gave them my outfit back, because we gave them back at the end of each day, it was like wet and dark orange, not bright orange like this. Anyway, so this is my first exercise that I'm taking people through. So the way that I structured the workouts was I would do one foundation exercise and then I would do 2 progressions of that. So this is me explaining the first exercise, and it's just a reverse lunge that's alternating each leg. And we're using the shoes as weights. Now these shoes were around, I don't know, probably anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000. So they were, I guess my joke for the class was around, probably the most expensive dumbbells you'll ever use. So here we are just doing weighted, with the shoes. So, it's not too much weight. If you had heavy shoes, it was more. If you had light shoes, it was less. But we're doing weighted reverse lunges. So I'm just walking around making sure people's form is good and talking to them and making sure they're having fun. And then the next progression is with the shoes, but instead of holding them like that, we're going to hold them above head. So that was the second progression. So here we go. We're doing our arms above our head. Now this is going to, it's not going to make it too much harder, but it's going to make it hard enough to be a second progression. So that challenges the thoracic mobility of the individual. There's me trying to keep their arms straight, trying to go straight above the head, but it also challenges your deltoids a little bit. Once again, this is not, people aren't here to get the hardest workout of their life. They're literally at a free event walking around, which I'm going to show you soon, but you would have seen it in the intro. I'm going to go walking around and you'll be able to feel like you were at the HermésFit event. And here we go. So I was just explaining, for this jump, you want to jump off one leg and land on 2 legs. And the reason for this is just safety. And my goal was not to get anyone injured in the class. Obviously, I want them to be nice and healthy and just feel like they've gotten a good workout. So you want to push off one leg and land on 2. That was the second progression. The third progression, and that was the last one. And this is a sole clap, where we would clap the soles of the shoes together. Now, after smashing the lower body, I would go to the upper body, or the abs. So we're ultimately getting in a push-up position here. You can do this at home if you want, and you're reaching to one of the shoes. Now, you want to do this without twisting your hips or without putting your butt up like that. Like I was saying to the people in the class, I don't want to see your butt. Like, you can do whatever you want in your private life, but I don't want to see your butt while you're in my class. So see, that's lazy. The way I'm doing it is lazy. But what I want you to do is tuck your butt underneath. It's kind of like a plank, and you're reaching and you don't want your hips to twist. Now, surprisingly, I thought this was going to be a relatively easy exercise, but people really struggled with this one. They were on struggle streak. They were like reaching and like twisting their hips or not getting their butt down low enough. So it was interesting just to see how the general population or varying people in the class were able to handle the workouts. So here's me just trying to make sure that they're doing it right. You can often get a sore lower back when you do this, but I was just making sure that they were killing it. There we go. See, they're reaching, and if you wanted to make it harder, you would put the shoe out even further, so you would reach further, and that would challenge you more. One thing that I missed is, see how my feet are like that? You can put them wider, and it's going to make it easier. It's going to give you a stable base. Now, the second progression of this exercise was putting them forward, and then this is the third progression where I'm pulling the shoe side to side. So this can be used as a dumbbell drag in the gym, so you would drag a dumbbell across the floor, but we are using the most expensive Hermés dumbbells and we're pulling shoes side to side. Once again, see how my hips aren't moving? You're trying to keep them as still as possible, and that works your anti-rotational core strength. So, you know, I kind of pride myself in making sure that they were doing exercises that were actually legit and we're actually going to do something for them. This is, you know, 30 minutes of their time that they've given me, so I want to honor that with giving them an awesome workout as well. Now, after hitting the abs, I guess I was joking around in the class, like, this is my last class, like, I really don't give a shit, like, I'm gonna smash you, like, that's what I was saying. So now we're doing squats and we're just pulsing at the bottom, so you can call these pulsing squats if you want, but I was just sitting nice and low. Now, the bottom of the squat is the hardest part of the squat. It's the most challenging for the glutes, for the quads, you know, for the calves as well, they're slightly worked. And we would just hold there and just keep squatting, and then I'd give them a rest, and then we would make it harder and harder and harder. So this was level 1, which, as you know, if you've ever done this before, this was pretty hard. The more you stay at the bottom, the harder it's going to be. There we go, and we get a rest. And now we're going level 2, and once again, we're chucking the arms overhead. We're trying to work our thoracic mobility, our deltoids, and people's arms were fatiguing. So this guy's arms close to me, his name is David. His arms were sweet, like he was stacked right above himself, but even me, I can't put my arms directly above my head. That was challenging. Now, the next thing that I'm explaining here is, okay, you know, we're gonna do the same level 2 progression, but when I call jump, you're going to do a squat jump. So this was the third progression. It was the pulsing, and then I'll just catch them off guard and call jump. And then we would jump, and then we get back into pulsing, and then we jump. And that's how we kind of cooked the legs. This was like, look at them. They were like, I could hear them from stage. They were like they were dying. There we go. I didn't do that for too long because they were getting absolutely cooked. Now I park the lower body and we go into upper body for the final movements, which was push-ups. Now I said, you know, if you want to do push-ups on your knees, that's completely cool. If you want to do push-ups on your feet, that's cool as well. And then this is actually the second progression. We're doing a quarter rep at the bottom. So I'd call this one-on-one quarter reps. So we did standard push-ups and then we did one-on-one quarter reps. And here's the third progression. We do the quarter rep and then just reach for the shoe. Now, I didn't mind if they twisted their hips this time because it wasn't really an ab workout. It was just really to get them moving and get them transferring their weight in different places. Now, they're absolutely cooked and we are winding up the class. Now we're just doing some static stretching after the class, getting out. So a big mistake that people make in that stretch is actually just trying to reach for their toes, but you want to try to put your chest onto your knee. Now we're stretching out the adductors or the groin by putting our knees out wide and sitting back and deep into it. This one feels great. And pretty much that's a wrap, man. Like I was just telling them, you know, if you want to post, tag Hermés, tag me, you know, use the hashtag HermésFit and enjoy it. But yeah, that was a 30-minute class sped up and me kind of doing a voiceover onto it. And coming up next is a thumb fight. So I will not be doing the voiceover for this. This is going to be the actual sound of the clips because this was pretty funny. I got up and had a thumb fight.
Our official Hermés thumb fights. A round of applause for our first fighter, number 24, in the white trunks. Give it up, ladies! Competitor, number 22, in the orange trunks, Jackson. Give it up for Jackson. All right, I told you. fighter, we got a fighter. Woo! So you know the rules. So everyone your name please. Brock. D-Job. Brock and D-Job. D-Job, Brock. Alrighty. Fighters to the It's alright, that might help. We'll see. Alright. Just have to move around, make sure you feel comfy. Alright. We're going for 3 second hold.
Let's go.
Intimidation.
Get it.
He's got the travel tactic.
Oh!
1, 2. Let it go. Oh, what? Taunting. Easy.
We got this.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Give it up to Brock. Bring it on.
This is Leah Simmons. She was another coach that was running classes. She was doing like yoga classes, Pilates classes. So it was the first time to meet her, which is really cool. She's actually going to be on the Better with Brock podcast, which is my podcast. So I won't say too much more about her, but that's going to be really cool. She's a great individual. I don't really like these events because sometimes, you know, people put up this facade and the whole networking thing, people like aren't really acting genuine, but I actually was surprised. Like I met some awesome, genuine people and I really enjoyed this event. It was really cool. See, we're just like playing ping pong, hanging out. The other coaches were really cool. You know, they were laughing at me because I missed. You know, it was just like we were hanging out as mates. So it was actually really cool. This is me. Yeah, I tried to smash it and get really good at it. And then they told me of this. Okay, so this game that they invented where you would hit he failed there, but you'd hit it and bounce up and hit it in the ring like that. But that's 1 miss, 2 misses, 3 misses. So what I'm trying to do here is bounce it off the table into one of the calisthenic rings. Now they said, oh yeah, it's so easy and all that, but it was actually really hard. I don't know if I'm just super uncoordinated, but I'm usually pretty good at this stuff. Like, and I feel like sometimes I'm okay at ping pong, but I really struggled with this. This was like really hard, this game. As you can see, I'm completely screwing it up. There, I hit the ring there. I hit the ring again. I hit the ring again. See it twisting after I hit it? And then I hit it again. It twists there. This was so frustrating. I hit it off the backboard that time. And then I hit it off the pole that time. I thought I was gonna get it. I hit the ring again and again. If that wasn't twisting at the time, I would have hit it. And then I think this guy's name was Neil. Yeah, he jumped in and was like trying to give me a target. But nothing was helping me. Yeah, like it was so hard. There we go, I hit the ring again and then it was, oh man, this is rough to watch. Thought that was gonna go in, that didn't go in, far out. Finally, that is the one that went in. I don't know what number that was, but it'll come up on the video soon.
That's what it's like to be a Hermés trainer.